Hello, hello, and welcome back to another podcast episode of Overpowering Emotions, where I talk all things big emotions, emotion regulations. As we all know, life does not go in a linear, perfect sort of procession. It doesn't go as planned. It's always constantly throwing roadblocks, challenges, all sorts of things in our way. How we bounce back says a lot about our ability to handle adversity. This is our resilience. And it's a skill that can be developed. It's something that I'm obviously focusing a lot on. We had this journey of resilience last year that we're focusing on continuing this year. But I really want to go back to the basics about what resilience looks like and why that adversity and stress are really necessary for resilience. Especially, this is going to help just sort of fuel for next week when we jump in a little bit more into giving some of those challenges. But we want to really help kids develop this essential skill. At the end of the day, we've been taking away opportunities and we got to give them back. So, resilience, just so we know, I mean, it's often described as the ability to bounce back, right, from a setback. So, if something happened, we might have a dip in how we're functioning, but we're able to get back to where we were. But it's so much more than that. And I'm focusing more on the thriving part, right? It's about adapting, growing, getting better, that thriving despite the difficulties. We learn and we grow and we get better and stronger. Resilience definitely doesn't mean avoiding hardship or pretending that everything's okay or being fearless. It's about facing those challenges. It's about being scared and doing it anyway, that bravery, right? Doing hard things, even if we don't know how it's going to turn out, even if we don't think, you know, right away, I know for sure I can do it perfect 100%. It's finding ways to move forward despite whatever obstacles in our way. I love the tree analogy, a tree in a storm. A resilient tree, it bends with the wind. It doesn't break, right? It bends with the wind. It can be flexible, but it's grounded. It's got that huge root system. Resilience in us is similar too. We need to have strong roots to be able to survive whatever the world, whatever life is throwing us. And it really comes in the form of supportive relationships. And that's why I wanted to focus. I mean, even just Valentine's Day a couple of weeks ago was really focusing on those relationships, but also our values and what's important to us. And so we need to have that strong root system as well as flexibility to adapt to whatever the changing circumstances are around us. So if we think of someone, an adult who loses their job, one person might see this as the end of the world, right? Maybe there's anger and blame and why me? And it's always me. Another person might see that as an opportunity. Okay, maybe it's not some people might be like, yes, I hated that job anyway. But some people it might have been terrible. There's still that hit, but it's an opportunity to explore something new, right? Or to learn about who they are and their values and what they like and what they want to do. So resilience is what's allowing that person, that second person, to reframe that challenge as a challenge response, not a threat response, right? So that they can see there's still forward movement. What are my next steps forward, even if it feels overwhelming? Now, if you heard me talk before, I can't say it enough. We need adversity and stress to build resilience. Our kids need to have adversity and stress to build resilience. It's just like a muscle. If you think about muscles, we need to push them, even tear them slightly before they become stronger. That's how they build, is through those tears, through the stress. The same principle applies to our ability to handle life's challenges, right? If you're not lifting heavier and stressing that muscle out, it's never going to grow. Shielding kids all the time from stress or mistakes or failure or making them feel better whenever they're feeling, it doesn't help them. It's the opposite. When we're overprotecting kids, we're depriving them of the chance to develop the skills to problem solve, to manage their emotions, to handle conflicts, right? And they're never having confidence in their ability to handle difficulties because someone else is always doing it for them. We can even just think of controlled adversity. Obviously, I don't want to traumatize children. That's not it at all. But we can have controlled adversity, manageable challenges like learning a new skill, navigating a tricky friendship. Those types of things build resilience, getting them to do errands, right? Things like that. It's just stretching them out of their comfort zone. Again, it's not throwing kids into the deep end and hoping they figure it out. We're not setting them up for failure, but we're providing opportunities for growth. for growth, for independence. And that with it is going to come confidence that they can do it. Without the opportunity, they never learn that I can do it because they've never had the opportunity to do so. So we're sort of a guide on the side. We're not a helicopter overhead or a snowplow in front, right? We're walking beside and slightly behind. So we're there for support. We, of course, have to model whatever it is that we want kids to build, right? Whatever we're teaching them, we're always modeling them. Kids learn by watching us. So we need to, I mean, we can share our own stories of overcoming challenges, but we need them to see how do we handle stress? How do we handle those obstacles and setbacks? Talk out loud how you're problem solving and what you learned afterwards. All of those things are really important. We want to normalize mistakes too, right? We got to show them and talk about how mistakes are a natural part of learning, but we actually need to embrace that. We're celebrating effort over outcomes. Like, hey, it's not about, hey, you got a hat trick. Amazing, right? It's like, hey, I noticed you outside every day practicing your shot. And look at what that translated to on the ice in the game, right? It's that effort over the outcome. Discuss what can be learned when there is a setback. Okay, what did you learn? What can you do differently next time? We're asking lots of those open-ended questions. That's what gets the brain curious. That's what rewires the brain, right? So, what did you learn? What can you do differently next time? What can you try, right? Don't say, don't worry, I'll fix it. Or you should have done this and you should have done that. It's asking those open ended questions. And we're not immediately solving kids' problems. We're asking those open ended guiding questions. If they forget their homework, right, we're not going to say, I told you to put in your bed. No, that's not helpful. Okay, so what do you need to do? What are you going to do about this? What's something you can try? What's one solution that you can try? We want to make sure we're giving kids age appropriate responsibilities too and let them make their own decisions, right? Small challenges, it could be planning a family meal, it could be organizing a school project, it could be planning their own birthday party. Those things build confidence and problem solving skills. We want to make sure we're prioritizing unstructured time. Too many kids are overscheduled all the time and there is no downtime. And the minute there is downtime, they don't know what to do with themselves. And that's a problem. Unstructured time, it really gives kids that chance to explore, to experiment. I mean, those are opportunities to build resilience naturally. When kids are left to solve their own problems, whether it's during play or to figure out how to build their own time, they're developing crucial skills as well. Now, we are letting them do things on their own. That's really important, but they don't go it alone. Resilient kids have strong relationships, right? That's sort of that foundation. And that's why I was using remember or Valentine's Day as an opportunity to really plant the seeds for those strong relationships. That's so important. And it's relationships with us, with family, with friends, with teachers, with mentors, right? With whomever's in their life. That supportive network can make all the difference when difficulties do come up because kids know that I'm loved, I'm supported, and that boosts their confidence and their motivation. Now, one piece to all of this is increasing opportunities for resilience throughout the day. We can't talk about it. You got to go out and do things. Now, parents and teachers, they really play this complementary role in fostering resilience. Communication is key. How can we build, this sort of resilience building opportunity throughout the kiddo's day? So observe what are common challenges that come up for this kiddo? What are some of their successes? Work together to provide consistent messages. So if there's a kiddo who struggles with math, parents and teachers maybe collaborate on strategies to help them persevere. Maybe you're breaking tasks down into smaller steps. Maybe you're celebrating smaller wins. Maybe you're giving choices. Okay, there's 10 questions here. Which 5 are you going to do? Right? How hard do you think they're going to be? Actually, I'll get to that one in a second. I'm actually working on a hybrid home and school program where we're creating environments that support resilience at home and school, and it's bridged across. So we just want to look for those ways to get involved with the school, with the home, to help build some of those opportunities. But even opportunities like extracurricular activities to challenge kids, that can be really helpful too. I will be getting into more skills to build emotion regulation in the future, but I want to just really readdress that resilience today. That's why I wanted to focus on that and start looking at those opportunities so we can lay that foundation because it is an ongoing journey, right? It's not a destination. Even if you're stretching now and kids are getting out of their comfort zone and maybe they're going and complimenting friends or maybe they're running into Circle K to get their own bag of chips. I mean, as they get older, more confidence, it's going to continue expanding. There's probably things you can be doing even as an adult, but it takes time, it takes effort. We start with modeling our resilience. We're creating those opportunities for growth. We're fostering strong support systems. So, all of these things are going to be really important. Now, I have a few action steps for you to try this week. If you already have some ideas, that's fantastic. But one is to create a resilience jar. So, as a family or as a class, write down moments of resilience, whenever they come up, and then you can review them to celebrate them. But I also like having that bravery jar, right? What are some things that stretch out of your comfort zone? It could be something social, academically, physical, whatever that is. Let's write that down. And every day we're going to pick something out of that bravery jar or resilience jar, whatever you want to call it, to kind of make sure we're working on it every day that we're going to do something hard. And I would say, as a whole class, as our whole family, we've got that everyone is going to be doing it. Always say, I don't know. Like if there's big questions, how do I fix this? I don't know. What do you think? We're going to put it back on their lap. We have confidence that they're going to figure it out. We're there to support. We can help brainstorm ideas, but it's up to them to experiment. Similarly, we can practice what's next. I love asking what's next. So whenever they're faced with a setback, we can validate if we need to. If they fall off their bike, oh, bummer, that sucks. What's next, right? So we pause and ask what's next just so they keep focus moving forward. That's so important. Um, if you don't have the jars, you could set a weekly challenge, right? Where they're going to work something outside of their comfort zone. It could be a challenge that you're giving the family or the class, right? Or problem solving. It's all of those sorts of things. So we want to create as many opportunity where kids are forced to face well, we're not forcing, but just facing something that's hard. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's facing them. That's really where resilience grows. So I think that I'll leave it there for today. Short and sweet, lots to think about, but it's just, again, planting those seeds of I'm confident in you to figure it out. How can we start looking for those opportunities to help them figure things out? I would love to hear, any questions you have, any stories about fostering resilience. I love hearing those things. So definitely reach out. Thank you for tuning in. Help those kiddos be bold and courageous. Uh, Share with anyone who needs a little boost of resilience in their life. And I will see you next time.